Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesdays at 2 with Haven. I am Julie and I'm here on our new version. We are doing Instagram Live now, so thank you for joining us. We're looking forward today to talking with you about the 5 steps to a perfect bedroom. Lots of good tips and tricks in here. Don't worry, this will also be added to our YouTube channel, so you can definitely find it there if you want to stop afterwards and get a little bit more information. So we'll just kind of jump right into things here in bedrooms. There's a lot to consider when you're building the perfect bedroom, and you want to make sure that you take a lot of the components all into consideration before you start. The worst thing you can do is start backwards and kind of have to take some pieces out or reset or reevaluate. So what you really need to do is determine the most important things for you in the bedroom. Is that going to be the comfort, the luxury, the style, whatever the most important thing is to you? It could also be the headboard, the color, the side tables. Pick that one thing that's going to be the most important, start there, and then you're going to build the whole room around that. So we're going to start right now with step 1, which is considering how to choose the headboard. So the headboard's going to be the largest piece in the room, and it's probably going to be what most people are going to use as their leader in terms of what they're going to choose to build their room around. But there's a lot of elements of the headboard that you should still take into consideration. So noting that first and foremost, you want to step back a second and ask yourself about the style of room that you're going to be designing. Do you want to do something that's cottage chic? Are you going for a more masculine room? Do you want industrial? So keep the elements of the things that are interesting to you involved in the entire process as you're doing this as well. But the headboard itself, you want to make sure you're considering things like the height and the color. So as you can see here, I would say if you're doing like a wallpaper behind the headboard, or if you've got a decorative wainscot on the wall, or if there's anything that's going to have a little bit of element of interest in terms of the aesthetic behind the headboard, you don't really need to have art all the time. So choosing a tall headboard can really use up that wall space for you, and then you can just let the headboard be the defining part of that wall while using the wallpaper as the art. If you want to go with something that's a little bit more modern and low scale, then use your art vertically so you can pull the ceiling back up again while having a lower, more modern look in your bed frame. But you want to consider the height. You also want to consider the color. So think to yourself whether or not, if you're going to choose a color on the headboard or go neutral. If you want it to be a color, make sure you already have considered whether it's going to be the dominant color in the room or a supportive color. So taking those first 2 steps into consideration are really great in terms of how you would get started with the overall design of the headboard. And then we'll go into our next slide here. Number 2 is going to be planning the complementary furnishings that go with your bedroom. So that would be things like the side tables, a desk and chairs, if you're going to add a bench at the foot of the bed, even the things on the ceiling, your light fixtures, your artwork, and all the little accessories that go with it. So plan those complementary pieces in terms of what you visualize or how you want that space to come together. If you know there's going to be a bench at the foot of the bed, then that's great because you've already started working towards that goal. But you want to plan for those pieces, and you want to make sure that they complement as well. So take into consideration where they're going to be located in terms of size. You want to work backwards on your sizing as well. Make sure you don't choose anything that's too large for the space or too small adversely. And then we'll go into our third step here, step 3, and that's going to be adding the rug. So we hope that you come back to join us next week on our Tuesdays at 2, because we will be doing an entire feature on rugs. Most notably, we'll talk a lot more about rug placement, sizing, and rug piles, and how to use them with a little bit more organic and fun placements and spaces as well. But in your perfect bedroom, you definitely want to plan for the rug. If you have carpet, that's great. I am a big fan of doing a rug on carpet. Not all designers are. It's totally up to you. There's not a specific hard and fast rule when it comes to that, but whatever kind of style you're going for, keep it in consideration. So if you've got carpet and you're just going to start with the bedroom there, that's great. If you have hardwood floors, you're definitely going to want to consider a rug. And rugs are very important because they actually define the entire space of the room, and they soften the look, and they actually add a little bit of comfort to the space as well. So consider feeling. One thing that people should always be considerate of when they're designing their spaces is how they feel in their own space. And in the morning, when you get up from bed, if you get out in bed and you have a hardwood floor, it's A, hard, and B, cold. So a rug will help to soften and comfort, and it also does, like I said, it defines the entire side of the space too. So they have a lot of good features. You're going to want to talk about your pile, and we can do this all next week, but consider where you want to be in terms of that comfort level too with the pile of the rug. But by defining the space with your rug, you also have really created the overall aesthetic of the place. It's an anchoring feature. So rugs are really good too in terms of bringing art down to your floor. And we can get a lot more into that next week as well. But we will go on to our step 4 here. So with step 4, so we want to now talk about selecting bedding to complement the room in here. So think through about what you're going to do with the wall space when you're getting started. Are you painting the walls a bold color? Because if you have a bold color on your walls, you're going to want to go with a neutral bedding. You don't want to compete and you don't want to overwhelm. If you have neutral walls, then you can go with more bold bedding. So as you can see in the photos here that are showing the space a little bit, the nice neutral gray walls really lend itself to the jewel tones of this sapphire colored bedspread, which is just so pretty and elegant. And it shows a lot of the features. It's such a draw for your eye. And then on the other end, if you look down at that bedroom down in the lower photo, it's very neutral. And I love how the bedroom just kind of has a very sophisticated, calming feel in this room. And the art and the bedding are all working together. So you can start to see how the components really do complement each other. Then looking at the other things that we've already talked about, such as the art working with those side lamps, the table lamps, they really do feature all the different elements in the room, but they make it work as one cohesive look. So when you're picking the bedding, make sure that you're looking at all the ways that you want the room to shine and picking the most focal point of the room. As in the top photos, they're going to be the bed with the bedspread, but the neutral bedding below actually accents the artwork. So those are ways that you can really kind of pull those pieces all together and make them still complement and work together in terms of talking. But you definitely want to mix it up, like make it organic, make it fun. There's no like defined rules of what's right and what's wrong. Everyone should be putting their thumbprint on their space. So have something that's got your character and your personality added in as well. Okay, let's look at number 5 then. Oops, we skipped 5. Here's our 5. Oh, sorry. This is our first live, so we're going to have to learn how to do these slides so that they work well in terms of sizing. But number 5, our last step, is adding in the textures, layers, and all the accents and accessories. So what you can see from the photos here is how pillows really are playful. Pillows are textures, sizes, shapes, colors, all different, and you want it to kind of work together, again, to complement the space, but also be very organic and look natural. So picking the right look and the overall size can really be pulled together with your accessories at the very end there. That bottom right photo with the one long lumbar pillow, it's just simple, it's sophisticated, it's nice and easy, it's one pillow and it's done. Then there's many layers of pillows that we can do. So I want to talk through with you how we can build a bed. So we will go into our build a bed here. So starting with the bed that we've got there, we've already got the nice neutral walls, a very beautiful neutral headboard, and then we're going to go with just neutral bedding. Again, we want this room to really shine, and the high-end look is still very colorless with a little bit of accents in organic colors or pops of bolder colors and artwork. So starting with your pillows on the bed, go with your tallest pillows first. So I've started with the Euro pillows here, as you can see in the back, and I'm going to be a little bit playful in this room, what I'm designing here. So it might not be for everyone, but it's definitely a fun style. To have the 2 Euro pillows on the left side, and if you can see in that smaller photo next to them, if you have a little bit of extra room under your pillows because they've been used and they start to condense, you can definitely reshape them and kind of fold your fabric under at the bottom. It still keeps it nice and taut at the top, and that's a nice little tip and trick for that smoke and mirrors perfect look that everyone wants. And in the bottom photo there, you can see that we have added in the king pillows next to it. So I'm layering the pillows forward a little bit, kind of leaning them in on each other, moving them together. But in the pillow on the king pillow, what I wanted to do there was really create more of that hotel style look in the pillows. So taking the fabric on the ends, folding it in, and then conversely tucking in the other side as well. So now you've got a nice crisp look on both sides, and then take the folded side and turn that in so that your crisp side's on the outside where you're going to be walking past, and that's got more visual. You can hide your seam with the other pillows that are going to be added in. And we'll go to our next slide here where we show that. So now we started to layer in some of these more accent pillows. Color is great here. Again, color, shape, size, texture, it really adds a lot of the elements that you need to have the perfect bedroom. So as we started with the taller accessory pillow in front of the Euro, and then 2 more smaller pillows in front of that, puts together with that artwork, and there you have your $1 million wow beautiful room. So that's our quick tips for you today on how to have the perfect bedroom. We hope that you'll come back and join us next week for Tuesdays at 2 as we go over rugs, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much.